I'll share something with you that even many seasoned health enthusiasts find surprising. At 80 years old, one of my most cherished mealtime staples is a warm bowl of lentil curry. If you're over 65 and have been told your digestive troubles are simply part of getting older, you might find this story especially relevant. Many of us face common issues like bloating, constipation, or irregularity, and they can quietly chip away at our confidence and overall comfort. Perhaps you've had well-meaning friends or family suggest bland, restrictive diets to avoid upsetting your stomach. But what if I told you that introducing a bit of vibrant, flavorful lentil curry into your routine might help soothe, support, and even rejuvenate your digestive health? Now, I'm not claiming it's some miracle cure, but I can promise you that the benefits of this humble dish may be far more meaningful and more surprising than you'd expect. I understand the skepticism. Maybe you've tried various fiber supplements or special meal plans and felt disappointed when they didn't give you the relief you wanted. You might also worry about spices in curries causing more discomfort. It's natural to be cautious, especially when we're dealing with digestion in our later years. After all, our needs change as we age, and one-size-fits-all advice doesn't always deliver. Yet that's precisely why addressing digestive challenges matters so much. Good digestion isn't just about avoiding discomfort. It's about having the energy and vitality to do what you love, whether that's gardening, visiting grandchildren, or simply enjoying a good book without feeling weighed down. What's truly heartening is that when seniors prioritize dishes with the right combination of nutrients, flavors, and gentle digestion support, they often notice significant improvements in their day-to-day lives. Over time, minor changes accumulate into major transformations. Imagine feeling lighter, less bloated, and having a more predictable digestive cycle. Picture going about your day with one less worry on your mind. That's why I'm so excited to share this perspective on lentil curry. I've experienced it myself, and I've seen numerous older adults benefit when they give it a fair try. Throughout our time together, I'll highlight 4 key, often overlooked advantages of lentil curry for digestive wellness that you might not have considered. We'll look at why the hearty fiber in lentils can be surprisingly gentle on mature digestive systems, how certain spices in curry may actually soothe rather than irritate, why protein content from lentils can be especially helpful at our age, and how a modest serving of this dish can support gut bacteria that are so crucial for overall health. You'll hear some real-life examples and practical steps for making each benefit a reality in your own kitchen. Before we begin, I should mention that I'm not a doctor, and if you have specific health conditions or take medications that require a specialized diet, it's always wise to check with your healthcare provider first. What I share comes from decades of seeing how different foods affect my body and learning from experts in senior nutrition along the way. You'll be able to adapt these ideas to suit your needs, and you'll feel empowered to take the next step, whether that's trying a simple lentil stew or researching more about optimal senior diets. If any of this information resonates with you, I encourage you to stick around and discover how a once overlooked dish could become your new ally in maintaining a happier stomach. If you have questions, jot them down so you can share them with your doctor or discuss them with friends who might also benefit. Let's start with something that might challenge what we've always believed about beans and legumes. Many of us were taught that lentils and beans cause more issues than they solve. But I'd like to show you a different side to that story. One common assumption among seniors is that lentils create bloating and should be avoided if you have a sensitive stomach. It's understandable. Who wants to deal with extra gas or discomfort? Bill, a 74-year-old friend of mine, used to avoid all beans because they gave him trouble in his 40s. But what he didn't realize was that our digestive systems evolve over time. In Bill's case, he was on a blood pressure medication that sometimes contributed to mild constipation. Because he was trying to keep to a low-fiber diet, thinking this would reduce gas, he ended up exacerbating his irregularity. That caused more discomfort than a small amount of gas ever would. When Bill began incorporating just half a cup of lentil curry into his evening meal, he noticed something intriguing. His bathroom schedule became more predictable, and he felt lighter overall. A key factor here is the type of fiber lentils contain. Unlike some harsh bran-type fibers that can irritate older digestive tracts, lentils offer a balance of soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber helps form a gentle gel-like substance in the gut, aiding in smoother bowel movements. Insoluble fiber adds bulk without being overly harsh. Because lentils are relatively small in size, many seniors find them easier to digest than larger beans. So the misconception that lentils will inevitably cause uncomfortable bloating doesn't hold true for everyone, especially if you prepare them correctly. Soaking them beforehand or using canned lentils, rinse thoroughly, can reduce the compounds that sometimes lead to gas. Action steps to make this benefit work for you are straightforward. First, start small. A quarter to half a cup of cooked lentils is plenty to gauge how your body responds. Second, consider cooking them with spices like ginger and cumin. These aren't just for flavor. Many people find that these spices support digestion. If you want to be extra cautious, cook lentils until they're very soft, almost mushy. This breaks down more of the starches, making them gentler on your stomach. Finally, pay attention to how you feel a few hours later, noting any changes in bloating, regularity, or overall comfort. The emotional impact of these improvements can be significant. It's empowering to realize that something you once avoided could actually be key to feeling better. Even if you only notice a 10 or 20% improvement at first, that's real progress, and over time, it can grow. Bill often tells me he loves the sense of confidence he's gained. He no longer treats food like a potential enemy. Instead, he's discovered that small portions of lentil curry are a helpful ally to his routine. He's excited to cook again, trying out recipes that incorporate lentils in a variety of ways: soups, stews, and curries. If you're feeling curious, I'd encourage you to reflect on what you've heard about beans or lentils in the past. Could it be that some of the advice was more myth than fact? You might be pleasantly surprised by how well your body adapts with the right preparation. Now, you might be thinking about those strong-tasting curry spices and whether they'll aggravate an aging stomach. Let's delve into that next, because many seniors assume anything spicy should be off limits, when in truth, certain seasonings may offer surprising digestive benefits. It's common to associate curry powders or blends with stomach upset, but it's important to realize that not all spices are created equal, and different types of heat can affect your body in very different ways. A lot of the time, we blame spices for discomfort when the real culprit might be excess fatty ingredients like oils or creams, or perhaps the overall meal size. Irene, a 77-year-old I know, had an unpleasant experience with a very spicy chili dish years ago and swore off anything with curry powder as a result. But when she moved in with her daughter, who loves to cook Indian-inspired meals, she discovered milder versions of curry that were not only tolerable, but actually comforting to her stomach. Certain ingredients in many curry blends, like turmeric, coriander, and ginger, are thought to help modulate inflammation in the digestive tract. While I'm not making a medical claim here, many people report feeling less digestive distress when these spices are added in moderate amounts. The trick is to control the intensity. Instead of opting for the fieriest chili peppers, choose milder spices and ease into them gradually. Irene found that including a pinch of cinnamon and a gentle hint of cumin added flavor without discomfort. With this approach, she not only tolerated lentil curry, but also found that the warmth of the spices actually seemed to relax her stomach after meals. If you're interested in trying this at home, one practical tip is to create or buy a mild curry blend that focuses on aromatic spices rather than hot peppers. You might, for example, blend turmeric, cumin, coriander, and just a tiny dash of chili if you like a gentle kick. When you cook, sauté onions and ginger in a small amount of oil before adding the spices and lentils. This step blooms the spices, making them flavorful without overwhelming your taste buds or your tummy. Also, pay attention to your portion size and the side dishes you pair with your lentil curry. A serving of plain yogurt or a side of mild steamed vegetables can help calm the palate and keep things balanced. On the emotional side, finding a way to enjoy savory, comforting dishes again can be a huge morale booster. Many seniors give up on certain foods they love due to fear of discomfort. Realizing that gentle seasoning and mindful cooking techniques can bring those flavors back can offer a renewed sense of joy. Irene's story reflects this joy. She was thrilled to discover she could enjoy meals with her daughter and not feel excluded by her digestive concerns. Sharing good food with loved ones is a precious part of life, and nobody wants to miss out on that connection if it can be helped. So if you've written off all curries as too spicy, consider taking a measured approach. With a milder blend and proper cooking, you might discover that curry spices are a friend, not a foe, to your digestive system. By the way, I'd love to know whether you've had any experiences with curry or other spiced dishes that surprised you. Did a certain dish make you feel unexpectedly better or worse? Feel free to pause and think about that. If you're watching with a friend or family member, it might be interesting to share these stories together. So far, we've looked at two key points: how lentils can be gentler on mature digestive systems than many assume, and how certain curry spices might actually offer soothing effects. Next, let's explore something equally eye-opening: the important role protein can play in senior digestion, and how lentils offer a unique solution for those who want to keep things light yet nourishing. It's commonly believed that as we age, we require less protein because we're no longer building muscle at the same rate we did in our youth. But the reality is that our protein needs can actually go up slightly because our bodies may not use protein as efficiently as they once did. This is significant for digestive health too, because protein helps maintain the integrity of the gut lining and supports the production of enzymes and hormones necessary for a well-functioning digestive system. However, the challenge many seniors face is finding protein sources that aren't tough to chew, high in saturated fats, or difficult to digest. Sharon, 81, discovered this the hard way. She relied heavily on red meat in her younger years, believing it was the best source of protein, but as she aged, she found it increasingly taxing on her system. She also tried protein shakes, but many of them upset her stomach, leaving her feeling queasy. When she tried lentil curry for the first time, she was skeptical. Wouldn't it lack enough protein to matter? In truth, lentils are surprisingly rich in plant-based protein, and for many seniors, that protein is easier to digest than some animal-based sources. While each person's experience can vary, Sharon noticed she had more sustained energy without the heaviness she used to feel after a steak dinner. Beyond just the lentils themselves, curry recipes often combine lentils with vegetables, a bit of healthy fat from oil, and sometimes even additional proteins like diced chicken or tofu. This synergy can provide a balanced meal that's gentle on the stomach. The presence of fiber ensures that your digestive system processes the protein more steadily, which can help reduce issues like heartburn or sluggishness after eating. For those worried about losing muscle mass or feeling weak, incorporating lentil curry a few times a week might be a practical step. You're not just getting protein, you're also getting complex carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals that can contribute to overall health. Actionable steps to make this work for you include checking your protein needs with a healthcare provider or a nutritionist if possible. Many will suggest a daily protein target that's slightly higher than what you aim for in your 40s or 50s. Then plan a simple lentil curry meal once or twice a week. You could, for example, simmer lentils with spinach, carrots, mild curry spices, and a bit of coconut milk for creaminess. Serving it over a small portion of rice can make it feel extra comforting. If you'd like more protein, add a handful of diced chicken or some tofu cubes. The advantage is that everything cooks together, and the resulting dish tends to be soft, palatable, and easy on an aging digestive system. Emotionally, meeting your protein needs can translate into feeling stronger and more capable in everyday tasks. When you're not worried that a meal will sit like a rock in your stomach, you might find yourself more willing to stay active, perhaps going for a walk or doing a bit of light housework right after dinner. This can establish a virtuous cycle. Better nutrition leads to more confidence in being active, which in turn further improves digestion and energy. Sharon, for instance, started taking evening strolls again because she felt steady enough after her lentil curry dinners. It's small but meaningful lifestyle changes like this that can add up to a healthier, happier routine overall. Now, before we move on to our final surprising benefit, I'd love for you to reflect on your current source of protein. Are you relying on items that feel cumbersome or leave you feeling tired after meals? Do you sense that you might benefit from a lighter option like lentil curry? Thinking about these questions can help you decide whether adding lentils into your meal plan could be a simple yet significant improvement. Finally, let's tackle the topic of gut bacteria, a subject that's gaining traction among health professionals. As seniors, it's easy to assume that our gut health is on a permanent downward trajectory, but that's not necessarily the case. Research suggests that the composition of our gut microbiome can change, and those shifts in our later years can influence not just digestion, but also our mood and overall vitality. So how does lentil curry tie into all of this? Many seniors think gut health issues are purely a matter of age. Harold, 76, used to believe just that. He'd heard the phrase, "your gut is like your second brain," but he assumed that after a certain age, there wasn't much you could do to keep it in good shape. He dealt with frequent indigestion and had resigned himself to it as inevitable. That's until he attended a local senior nutrition workshop where they discussed the role of prebiotic fiber in feeding beneficial gut bacteria. Foods like lentils are known to have prebiotic properties, meaning they nourish the good bugs in your digestive tract. This can help maintain a balance that fosters better nutrient absorption and might even support overall health in ways we're only beginning to understand. When Harold started incorporating a mild lentil curry into his meals twice a week, his digestive issues began to improve. He noted less bloating and a more consistent sense of well-being after a few weeks. It wasn't a dramatic overnight change, and he still has occasional bouts of discomfort, but the improvement was enough for him to feel hopeful about the direction his health was taking. If you'd like to harness this benefit, consistency is key. The beneficial bacteria in your gut can't flourish on a one-time meal. They thrive on regular sources of quality fiber. So if you enjoy lentil curry every now and then, it might help. But if you make it a semi-regular part of your diet, once or twice a week perhaps, you could see more pronounced benefits. Pairing your curry with other fiber-rich vegetables or whole grains can amplify this effect. For instance, you might have a lentil and vegetable curry with a side of brown rice, or even a piece of whole grain bread. It's also worth noting that if you're on specific medications that affect your gut flora, like antibiotics, talk to your doctor about how to best support your digestive system during and after treatment. The emotional aspect here is that you're not at the mercy of your gut health, even if your healthcare providers have told you that many seniors experience more digestive challenges. Yes, it's true that our bodies change, but they're also adaptable. Realizing you can improve your microbiome through thoughtful food choices is a powerful insight. It can inspire you to take greater ownership of other aspects of your health too. Harold began experimenting with homemade fermented foods like yogurt and mild kimchi. He found it encouraging to learn more about how his body works and how the right foods can make a difference. We've now explored 4 surprising benefits of lentil curry for seniors' digestive health. A gentler form of fiber than many might expect, soothing spices that can ease rather than irritate, a meaningful amount of protein that won't weigh you down, and prebiotic support for your gut microbiome. If you're still with me, you've likely gained a new perspective on a dish you once might have overlooked or even actively avoided. Now that we've covered these key points, I want to emphasize that none of these suggestions are meant to replace medical advice. If you have a particular health condition or concern, like kidney issues or a need to limit certain nutrients, always consult your healthcare provider before making dietary changes. However, if you're simply looking to give your digestion a little boost and reclaim some joy in your meals, lentil curry could be a gentle, flavorful ally in that journey. Before we wrap up, I'd like you to imagine what it would feel like to incorporate even just one of these ideas into your life. Maybe you decide to try a simple lentil curry recipe tomorrow, starting with mild spices and well-cooked lentils, and see if it makes your stomach feel more settled. Picture the comfort of a warm, nutrient-rich meal that leaves you satisfied rather than sluggish. Envision the possibility of fewer bouts of irregularity and a calmer, more predictable digestive schedule. These aren't wild fantasies or empty promises. They're realistic outcomes that many seniors experience when they start paying attention to the nutritious power of foods like lentils. The next step you take could be as simple as writing down a shopping list for lentils, ginger, turmeric, and a few mild spices, or texting a friend for a good curry recipe. If you enjoy sharing your journey, you might invite a family member or neighbor to cook with you. You could also set a reminder to discuss your protein and fiber intake with your doctor or a registered dietitian, especially if you're on medication. Another option is to keep a small food journal for a week, noting how you feel after trying different versions of lentil curry. Each of these steps gives you more information about your body and how it reacts to specific ingredients. You might be wondering, why the urgency? Can I try this anytime? Of course you can. But the truth is, our years are precious, and improving even one aspect of your daily comfort can have a domino effect on your overall quality of life. If you've been missing out on social gatherings or activities because you never know when your digestion might act up, making a change sooner rather than later means you might get back to enjoying those moments. There's no reason to wait if you're feeling motivated right now. Sometimes the simplest changes, like trying a new recipe, can kickstart a wave of positive developments. Whatever you decide, know that your choices matter and you have the wisdom of your life experiences to guide you. Foods like lentil curry aren't new. They've been nourishing people across different cultures for centuries. But our modern understanding of senior nutrition is evolving, and your willingness to explore these options puts you at the forefront of proactive self-care. So I invite you to take the step that feels right for you, whether that's a small experiment in your kitchen or a larger conversation with a healthcare professional. I want to leave you with an empowering message. Our bodies can continue to adapt and heal in unexpected ways, even at 65, 75, 85, or beyond. Embracing a dish like lentil curry may seem like a minor dietary tweak, but it could open the door to improved comfort, greater resilience, and a renewed sense of agency over your health. You are the expert on your body, and by tuning into how it responds, you can make better informed decisions that support not only your digestion, but your overall well-being. Here's to a happier, healthier gut and all the joys that come with it.